Hey Tuto girls! For today's activity, we're going to make a garland with hearts. So we're going to need some paper, a pair of scissors, paint, and a little bit of string. So if you don't have string, don't worry. I'm going to give you a few options of what's going to work for this project. So more precisely, we're going to need a large piece of paper to cover our workstation, a smaller piece of paper where we're going to be able to draw our hearts, a pair of scissors that we're going to use to puncture either side of the heart to make our holes to put the string through it. I'm also going to take a little piece of wood here and sharpen it using my pencil sharpener, which is also going to help to make the holes. And be careful because it's really pointy so your fingers don't get hurt. So then you're also going to need some string. You can use any kind of string. You can use fisherman string, you can use yarn, you can use, any kind of string you might have lying around the house, sewing string. I'm sure your mom has a sewing kit. You can also take a painting palette where you're going to put different kinds of paints with different colors, a glass of water, as well as some paintbrushes. So we're going to take our sheet of paper here, and all along on the edges of the piece of paper, we're going to draw our 6 hearts. And they have to be right along the side of the paper, so when we pierce each heart to put in the thread, we'll have enough room. So we're going to take our first heart here, and it's right along the edge of the paper. You see that there's only a centimeter or two that's away. Third heart. And then we're going to make our 3 smaller hearts. As you can see, they're right along the edges of the paper. Great. So now we have our 3 small hearts and our 3 big hearts. Perfect. So now I'm going to take a little piece of wood here, and this can be potentially very dangerous, so please be careful. You can have your mom and dad come, and we're going to make little holes in each of these hearts. So they're going to be able to get sewn together to make our garland. So I'm taking this little piece of wood here and taking a pencil sharpener to sharpen it very, very slowly and carefully. Do not put your finger at the end of the spike. It can poke you and potentially hurt you. If you don't have a piece of wood, you can also use a pencil. So for our first heart, we're going to take our sharpened piece of wood and basically pierce it right through there. So we're going to be able to pass our piece of thread. So go ahead and poke it very carefully and make sure you do not have your finger on the other side. In the same place for our second heart. For our little small hearts as well. Be very careful here if you want your mom and dad to come over to help. There's no problem. Nice and easy. Perfect, and now we only have 1 left. And pierce. Oop, this one's a little tough. Okay, guys, good job. So now we have all of our 6 hearts ready to get cut out. So go ahead and grab your scissors, and we're going to start snipping to cut our hearts out. So this part is a little bit dangerous too, so make sure that your fingers are far away from where your scissors are snipping. And cut right around all of the hearts here. Great. So for this first time, we're going to do hearts, but you could do this again at a later date, and you can do stars, you can do horseshoes, you can do pretty much any shape that you like. But hearts are always a little bit easier to draw. So just cut around the shape of each of your hearts. It's going to be a little bit easier for your bigger hearts, and it's going to get a little bit harder for the smaller hearts. Nice and easy. So I know my bedroom is pink and green, so I'm going to make my hearts maybe kind of the same color, a color that at least matches. So think about, where you want to hang your garland. What are the colors in that room? And, maybe we can choose some paints that fit that room. Is it going to be on your door? What color is your door? Is it going to be on your wall or in your playroom? Maybe if it's going to be in your playroom, and if you have a brother, you don't want it to be too girly, but, I know that I love everything nice and girly. So cut right around your heart there. Maybe you want to make it for your mom and dad. Maybe their favorite color is something different. Awesome. So keep cutting. You could even think about, cutting and pasting some old pictures in the middle of the hearts. Perfect. Nice and easy. Oop, a little U-turn right there. And cut up and over. Perfect. And be careful with your fingers. I know they can get kind of in the way. So now we're going to cut our smaller hearts, and these are a little bit trickier, so be careful with your fingers. Nice. This could also be a good Valentine's Day present to replace some of the candy and the chocolates. So I'm putting my hearts right here on the side. And make sure that the little poke that you did with that wooden stick is definitely still there and that you're not cutting around it. Up and around. Perfect. So snip. Snip, snip. Ooh, be careful with your little finger. That's definitely not fun when you get snipped on your finger. And almost done. Great job, you guys, on that cutting. I know it can be difficult, so even if you need to press pause next time and cut more slowly, we can totally do that. No pressure. So now we're going to grab our string, and you can use any kind of string. I'm using nylon string. You can use fisherman string, you can use yarn, you can use, thread that's in, maybe your mom's sewing kit. There's tons of different strings that you can use. So I'm going to use this particular string because it's kind of nice and thin, and you can make little knots with it pretty easily. So first let me figure out how to open this thing. And I'm going to unroll it nice and slow. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take the tip of my string here, and it's about the length of my paper. Once, twice, 3 times. And I'm going to snip. Perfect. So I'm going to put the dispenser away, and I'm going to take my string, kind of hard to see, pull it, and organize it. So we're going to take the very tippy top of our string and take our first big heart and poke it right through. So it's almost like we're sewing. So poke it right through there, pull it out from the other end. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to create little knots between each heart so they stay in their place. So I'm going to take the other end of my string, make a little loop, and knot it together. So do you see that? We just looped that string right through and made a knot. So now we're going to take one of our smaller hearts with the other end of the string, the longer end, pull it right through, and we're going to leave a little bit of space between the 2 hearts, because if they're too close, then the garland won't work. So let's take the string, make a little bit of a loop, like a little hole, and you pull it right through and tighten it. Awesome. So now our garland is really starting to take shape. And then just keep doing that for every heart. So we're going to alternate big heart, small heart, big heart, small heart. So once you've looped it through, so just do the same thing again, take the end, make a little bit of a loop, by going under and then through and tighten it, which will make the knot. Now we're going to go back to a small heart and do the same process just once again. So this garland can go on your door, it can go in your locker at school, it can go over your bed. There's so many different places where you can have this. It can go in your kitchen. It can go around your head like a little crown. Perfect. So then just tighten it and boom, it's going to make a little knot to keep your heart in place. Okay. So you see there's a few inches between each heart so they can have their space to wiggle around. Okay, so for our last heart, just pulling it right through, leaving some space between my small one. Take the end, make a little loop, and tighten it. And now you have the knot. There we go. Now we have our last little heart here. Poke it right through. And we're almost done with this part. So remember, leave a little bit of space. And loop it and knot it. Knots are used all the time, whether you're tying your shoelaces or fishing on a boat, you'll always have to know how to do a knot. Perfect. So look, our garland is pretty much almost done. We have the shape that's in place, but now we need to kind of decorate and paint our hearts or else it's going to look really boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint one heart in the same color. So basically one big heart and one small heart will be the same color, and the same thing with my other pairs of big hearts and small hearts. So take your paintbrush, rinse it, and my first set of hearts are going to be pink. So I'm going to take my brush, pop it in the pink, and start painting right over the heart. Nice. And not too much water, just enough to get the paint right over. Perfect. And then my next little small heart, which is right next to it, is also going to be pink. This one's a little bit trickier because he's so small, so you can use your finger to hold it down. Good job. So we're going to rinse our paintbrush. And I think my next set of hearts are going to be green. So just dry off a little paintbrush. Grab a little bit of this green here. And again, I'm going to do one small heart in green and also one big heart in green. And keep your hearts kind of nice and separate from each other because we don't want the paint to get onto the other heart. Okay, great. So let's make this big heart right here. Nice big green heart. It's like Shrek's heart. It's probably nice and green. Perfect. It's looking really, really good, girls. We're almost done and you're going to be able to show this to your mom and dad. Okay, so let's rinse our paintbrush. And I think I'm going to make my last hearts purple. Looking good. I have lots of different colors in my bedroom, so I think these colors are going to look really, really nice. If you wanted to make this for your brother, maybe you want to put a little bit more blue and yellow. Maybe it's for your best friend. You want to have it nice and pink. Perfect. So my last little small heart here is going to be purple. Actually, a purple heart is like the best kind of award you can get in the military. Perfect. So now I'm done painting. I'm going to lift my garland up, nice and easy. It looks super pretty, doesn't it? But we can see that the other side of the hearts also need to be painted in order for it to look really good from both sides. So I'm just going to grab another sheet of paper here, some of my craft paper, and I'm going to drag my little garland, flip it over here. So the painted sides are facing down. Great. So now I'm going to paint the other side of my hearts. So on both sides, it'll look really pretty. So let's take our paintbrush, grab a little paint. So I'm just going to double check. Yep, that heart is pink. Move the wire away. Put your finger down and paint away. Paint away, my little Picassos. Okay, great. So I'm going to find the other little small heart here of the same color, so that way I don't have to kind of rinse my brush and go for the same color again. I'm going to grab my green and find my green hearts. So remember, when you're painting, kids, just move all of the little strings away, because then if you paint over it, it's going to make a line on top of your heart. So just move them nice and away, so you have a nice clean space that you can paint right over, nice and easy. Easy peasy. Okay, great. Doing the same thing for my small heart. A little rinsey poo. And I'm going to grab my purple again here and look for my purple hearts. And flippy that one. Good. Ooh, my string there. Pull them out of the way. If you have lots of paint on your fingers, girls, don't even worry about it. We can rinse it right after the activity. Use a little soap. And my last heart. Perfect. Girls, we finished painting. Our garland is complete. So let's lift it up and see what it looks like. Nice and slowly. It's absolutely gorgeous. Great job, ladies. So, Tuto girls, here's our garland of hearts. I hope you had a really fun time today and that you're happy with how your garland turned out. I'd love to see your garland and your other artwork, so please send it in to tutokid.com. Hope to see you soon.